Hermosa Beach, California. Located just south of LAX, it's a suburb of Los Angeles, and it's known as one of the best coastal communities to live in California. It is also one of the most affluent communities in California. It is located just in the South Bay area, and it borders the prestigious areas as well of Redondo Beach and Manhattan Beach. Hermosa is known for its professional beach volleyball, surfing, a pier that has beautiful shops, restaurants, as well as a paved beach path, which is known as the Strand. It's got a vibrant downtown with entertainment, shopping, a nightlife, and a very laid-back Southern California atmosphere. Now, Hermosa Beach is currently in the headlines right now in Los Angeles, and it's not for anything good. It's all relating to violent attacks being committed by teens on e-bikes. Most recent one is on a 56-year-old man where there is video footage of a group of teens violently attacking a man, stomping on his head to the point where they shout, he's dead," and run off. I do have that video footage, which I will be showing after, but let's get into the initial story. A 56-year-old man was punched, kicked, and stomped by a group of 5 to 6 teenagers on electric bikes Friday evening in Hermosa Beach Alley, just 1 block from the pier, in an attack that was captured on multiple surveillance cameras. The victim, who was walking home from a restaurant carrying a pizza box, was surrounded and assaulted in the 11th Court Alley around 8 p.m. on November 21st. Bystanders called 911 and police arrived within 2 minutes, finding the man unresponsive. He was rushed to the hospital with what neighbors described as a severe concussion. There was a witness on scene named Matt Terrell who was able to describe what he saw and witnessed that evening. He said that the group appeared to have planned the attack. Quote, "They met up here 5 minutes before and were talking about doing something. They wanted to, quote, get someone," Terrell said. He said one teen asked the victim for pizza, and as the man responded, the others closed in. After the beating, the suspects fled on their e-bikes, reportedly believing the victim was dead, as they said on surveillance video. Hermosa Beach Police confirmed the incident in a written statement Sunday, saying detectives immediately launched an investigation and are reviewing videos and photos, and that no arrests have been announced. I have that statement here, and it was posted on the Hermosa Beach Police Department Facebook page. It states, "The Hermosa Beach Police Department is aware of video circulating online depicting an assault that occurred on November 21st, 2025. Hermosa Beach Police Department patrol officers arrived on scene within 2 minutes, and detectives also responded to initiate an immediate investigation. The victim was transported to a local hospital for medical treatment. As this remains an active and ongoing investigation, no additional details are available at this time. The Hermosa Beach Police Department urges anyone who possesses video or photographic evidence or who has information regarding the suspects to contact them directly. Publicly posting videos or images of the suspects may impede investigative efforts and hinder the apprehension of those involved." They stated that updates will be provided as soon as it is appropriate to do so. This assault here is the latest in a string of incidents that involve the group of teens on e-bikes in Hermosa Beach. It's previously been reported that there were teens launching fireworks into the crowds there, and there's video related to that.
Besides numerous assaults, there was also an incident a year ago where teens on e-bikes set off large fireworks in the middle of a packed Hermosa Pier Plaza. Many are left wondering what it will take before something is done. If this continues,
it's a miracle that nobody was injured on that occasion. And there's also been incidents of them punching pedestrians along the Strand. Residents have been expressing outrage and asking for accountability from the city and from the police department.
These kids are noted for constant trouble. They run in packs 5 to 6 bikes at a time. I've viewed and witnessed attacks in Redondo. They circle people and then they attack them.
It was actually a friend of mine who was on his Vespa, and the e-bike kids were all coming after him with big stones and rocks and throwing things at him and trying to swerve in front of him to get him to crash his Vespa.
One South Bay resident was quoted saying the parents that buy them the tools that let them commit these crimes, those parents need to be held accountable. The Sunday after the incident, the victim was released from the hospital, but the investigation is currently continuing. In the most recent post by Hermosa police regarding accountability for this e-bike attack, they've identified 5 minors involved in the attack and arrested 2 who have been identified as the primary aggressors in this case. All the minors are between the ages of 13 and 15. Police say they're in communication with the parents of the remaining minors and are preparing to present the case to the prosecutor's office. Now, after this attack was publicized, another man actually came forward and wanted to describe his attack by a group of teens on e-bikes in Hermosa Beach. His name is Hart Cardozo. Hart Cardozo said he was attacked on October 28th between 2 and 3 p.m. He stopped at Pier in Hermosa when a group of teens surrounded his car, slashed his tires, and shouted obscenities. When he stepped out, he says one of them struck them in his head with an object. Hart is 66 years old. He says that he had to go to the ER and get 14 staples in his head. He said that he was in a lot of pain, he was disoriented, and it seems surreal. Quote, "You don't plan at Hermosa Beach to have something like that happen. I mean, it was traumatic for me." Cardoza believes it's the same group that Fox 11 News in Los Angeles had first reported about over the weekend, who violently attacked the man who was walking home with his pizza in Hermosa Beach on November 21st. He said, quote, "When I saw that on the news, I said enough is enough. People need to know my story. They need to report it. If this is going on in the community and you're not talking about it, it needs to come out," end quote. Cardoza went on to say, quote, "They need to be arrested, and whatever parents are facilitating this mischief, they really don't know what's going on with their kids. And yeah, I want a resolution. I want to feel safe in my community, and I don't," he exclaimed.
Security cameras capture a group of 5 or 6 teens on e-bikes violently beat a man in his 60s Friday night around 8 in Hermosa Beach. The attack occurred in the 11th Court Alley, about a block from Pier Avenue. The teens can be seen stomping and hitting the man until he's knocked unconscious.
Get this guy up! Get up! You waste too much!
You hear them shouting to get this guy up. One screams he weighs too much, and then someone says he's dead before they all race away. Prior to the vicious attack, the man had been carrying a pizza home. As the group begins to circle, you hear one kid ask another kid named Logan if he wants some pizza. As a result of the brutal beating, the victim's friends tell us that he was left with multiple concussions, has trouble walking, and is feeling dizzy. This group of teens are well known throughout the South Bay communities as a group of troubled youth.
This continues on like this seems to be escalating. So now the kids almost feel emboldened and enabled to continue on and escalate their behavior.
Now, what raised more alarms in this situation was seeing the discourse between residents of Hermosa Beach and the surrounding area, as well as the communications that were coming out from the police department. So the first community update after the update about the felony assault was as follows. The Hermosa Beach Police Department issued the following community update on its ongoing investigation into the videotaped assault on a Hermosa Beach resident involving juvenile e-bike riders. Quote, "The HBPD's ongoing investigation has determined that the November 21st incident was not a targeted assault and that the resident walked past his intended destination to initiate contact with the juveniles. The HBPD has reviewed videotapes and audio of the incident and is continuing to investigate the events leading up to the altercation. There is currently no evidence indicating that this was a premeditated attack by the juveniles, and detectives have determined that the item the victim was struck with in the video was a cardboard pizza box. The victim has been released from the hospital and spoke with HBPD officers on Monday. HBPD officers also spoke with one of the juvenile's parents, who contacted HBPD after seeing their child on videos of the assault that are circulating on social media. HBPD is continuing its investigation and urges parents of the other juveniles involved, as well as any community members with relevant information, to contact the detective. The HBPD continues to actively enforce existing e-bike laws, including an urgency ordinance enacted in June 2024 by the Hermosa Beach City Council that requires helmets for e-bike riders and passengers under 18, bans e-bikes from the Greenbelt, prohibits passengers without a separate seat, and bars alcohol and drug use while riding. Blah, 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 fines. It also says that companies that rent out e-bikes must also use geofencing to prevent motors from running in prohibited areas like the Strand and Pier Plaza. On November 13th, Hermosa Beach Mayor Rob Simon and HBPD Chief Landon Phillips held a public safety town hall focused on e-bike enforcement, at which Chief Phillips reported that HBPD had issued 40 e-bike citations this year and impounded 19 e-bikes since the urgency ordinance was adopted. And a lot of that had just recently occurred after residents were speaking out again about e-bike issues and e-bikes running on the Strand. Again, that is the path alongside the beach that they're not supposed to be on. Now, this community update really got people upset on social media because what they read is that they're claiming this victim was beaten with a pizza box and that he went past his destination towards these juveniles, completely forgetting that their other body parts and feet and 5 to 6 of them surrounded the man, stomped on his head, and caused him to go to the hospital. Now, the conversation that started in these social media groups, specifically on Facebook with the Hermosa Beach group, has really shown a lot of outrage from community members once they were seeing community updates. As you can see above, somebody was talking about how they have been harassing the community for years now, and that the police know exactly who they are. Now, this is all alleged, and this is social commentary from the public, so none of this is necessarily factual. I just want to make sure that's very clear. This is all alleged. They state that many in the community are saying this exact same thing about this same group of boys. It's been reported that one of their parents is a high-powered attorney. One parent is on the city council, don't know what city, and one allegedly has ties to someone on Hermosa Police Department. So basically, we've been letting a bunch of teens run around the neighborhood assaulting others with no consequences or charges brought against them, let alone the adults protecting them. And in the past 2 months, due to this negligence, they have now physically assaulted 2 local, slightly older gentlemen, and one having 18, which article said 14 staples from being hit by a baton in October, and this last one a couple days ago in the hospital from a concussion. Please tell me we can do better as a community, as parents, as police, and law-abiding citizens. Let's join together as a community at the next local city council community event on December 1st and stand up for these victims and against these juveniles perpetrating this violence and their parents enabling this criminal behavior. Another comment referenced the fireworks I stated earlier, where someone said, I want to know if it's the same group that set off the firework in Pier Plaza. My kids were there and were traumatized. The police just said they knew the kid who threw it and that he was a good kid. Yeah, so were mine. The babies not being hooligans throwing fireworks into a crowded area. Again, so we heard that one of the kids has a dad on city council, another who is a high-powered attorney. I heard that you were dismissing their behavior as, quote, kid behavior and blaming the elderly gentleman because of people on top. Is this true? Someone else had mentioned, check all of the security cameras on the Strand that night. My husband and I were walking and several teens on e-bikes were at top speed yelling, get out of here. Somebody replied to that comment saying, you need to report this to the police. The police seem to be victim blaming. The person responded, already done. And again, to really sum up the rhetoric online, is that somebody stated the HBPD update is what's upsetting people. The kids beat him and stomped on his head. Now they're victim blaming. Sorry, unacceptable. After the online rhetoric appeared to be making its way back to the Hermosa Police Department, and you can see the upset and outrage the community members had, rightfully so, the police department issued a third community update, and they stated that this is a case update regarding the assault that occurred on Friday, November 21st, 2025. This past Friday at approximately 8 p.m., a 56-year-old male was assaulted by several juveniles near 11th Court and Beach Drive. Your Hermosa Beach Police Department takes this violent crime and all crime very seriously. We understand the concerns of the community and have been working nonstop to identify those involved and bring them to justice. Your HBPD has been fielding phone calls, emails, and processing videos obtained from various sources. As of today, November 26, 2025, we have identified 5 juveniles involved, all between the ages of 13 through 15, and have arrested 2 of the juveniles identified as primary aggressors in this case. They were booked at the HBPD jail and will be transported to juvenile hall. We are in communication with the parents of the remaining juveniles and are preparing a thorough case we will present to the prosecutor's office. We know the videos circulating are disturbing. As with all cases, we take this seriously and appreciate the community's patience while we continue to work on the case. We sincerely thank those who have trusted the process and allowed our team to remain focused on the facts and evidence. And then they say that you can reach out with anyone who has additional information to the police department. Now, again, back to the discourse online, comments after this update were along the following: community pressure will deliver results. Then there was also, now that's what I call a 180, as well as many that were thanking the police department for finally communicating this and making it seem like they listened to the community outrage. But on the flip side, also upset that it seemed to take the community outrage to put this pressure and feel that there was something being done about it besides speaking about the victim's actions in this case. I will keep updated on this case if anything new comes out or any further arrests are made. When it comes to information publicly, because these are juveniles, there are not going to be public records in the case of minors, so there's going to be limited information, and that will have to rely on news reports and the police department issuing updates. There is a lot of discussion around e-bikes, and not even specifically e-bikes. It's more these illegal dirt bikes that are being called e-bikes, even though they're not on the streets. I am sure if you ask anybody who works in the hospital, they are reporting that it is insane the amount of injuries that are coming in and how dangerous they are to the rider themselves for teens and young people that are not really capable of driving because they're not riding. They're driving these things on the road. However, this is specifically about violence associated with the riders of these bikes, that they are doing, quote, and allege, gang-like activities because they are using this group-focused mentality and causing harm to others and instigating events and bothering people who are doing absolutely nothing and just trying to go about enjoying their life. Hermosa Beach is a beautiful area. I love their beaches. So when you have stuff like this happening, that's absolutely as well going to impact the area. And people are not going to want to come visit and not want to spend their money over there, knowing that this is going on when there's plenty of other beaches that you can go to. So I think it's nice to see that the community outrage has provoked such a response. And I think it'll be interesting to see what happens at their local community meeting on December 1st. I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of people are going to show up and speak about specifically this incident and what's going on and what's going to be changed and what can be done about it moving forward as a community. And this is just a great example of community politics and speaking up for what you need to. And I hope, if anything, that man does better. Let me know what you think about this case, what you've seen in your area when it comes to e-bikes, or more so the illegal street dirt bikes that have been on the road. And if you've noticed any changes in your communities or any instances like Hermosa Beach is experiencing. Thank you for watching The Light. Make sure to help this channel out by simply giving us a like, a follow, and a share. That's all it takes to give us a little help. Thank you, and I will see you on the next one.
A lot of people freaked out about this story tonight. It happened, as you said, just a couple of blocks from the Hermosa Beach Pier. Right along the strand is 11th Court, where there are surveillance cameras everywhere. New disturbing video obtained exclusively by Fox 11 capturing a violent e-biker attack in Hermosa Beach. 5 or 6 apparent teens surrounding a man in his 60s, punching, kicking, and stomping on him. Then taking off, believing the victim to be dead.
As I'm parking the car on the phone with 911, I realize that it's a bunch of teenagers attacking one person.
Matt Terrell is one of several people to witness what happened Friday night on 11th Court, and has since watched all sorts of surveillance video.
They met up here 5 minutes before, and they're talking about doing something. They wanted to do something. They wanted to get someone.
Then he says the victim simply came up walking home holding a box of pizza.
They come up to the victim and they say, "Hey, I want some pizza." As the victim's talking to him, the rest of the kids surround him as if they planned it.
Police and first responders there within 2 minutes, finding the man unresponsive, rushed to the hospital with what neighbors describe as a severe concussion.
It was definitely a surprise.
Where are the parents? Where are the parents of those children doing that?
Fox 11 has previously reported on several incidents in Hermosa Beach involving teens and e-bikes. Suspects launching fireworks into a crowd, causing injuries and striking people on the Strand, then taking off.
We're concerned. We see gangs of kids on e-bikes. And yeah, the cops should enforce the rules.
Hermosa Beach police say they have videos and photos connected to the latest assaults and are actively investigating.
The parents that buy them the tools that let them commit these crimes, those parents need to get held accountable.
This is a place people walk all the time to cut through to get to their cars here on 11th Court, and you can see that there are surveillance cameras everywhere. We count at least a dozen just right here. Again, though, so far no arrests have been made.